Welcome to Hancock's VMware Half Hour. And welcome back to another episode of Hancock's VMware Half Hour. Whilst you join me in this video to the follow-up, part 2 of our DIY NAS using UnRaid. And if you watched the last video, then you will know that we've picked up an Intel NUC Extreme 11th gen version, which we're going to stuff full 4 NVMEs, and we're going to turn that into a super mega fast NAS. Okay, now I did promise in the last video when a lot of fettling, these big thick fingers inside that very small NUC. Although the actual size of it really is probably about the size of a shoebox, but inside is actually basically crammed. And I must admit, if you watch that video, that you will know that I found it quite tricky, really, fettling all those parts in there. Anyway, so I did actually promise that I was going to apply power to it, and we were just going to quickly bob on a copy of Windows 11, just really to test the hardware. Before we really actually basically start. I've got to, as I said, this is quite a slow burn, this little series that we're doing really on this UnRaid NAS. We got lots of things to do with it. We've got a packet full of Samsung NVMe drives that have not arrived yet. I'm waiting for Black Friday. I'm hoping that really that prices of those will drop. So at the moment we've got a couple of GameX XPG GameX S11 Pros. I was going to say I found them on the floor, but I didn't really. I found them actually in a motherboard box that was about to go out to the bin. So they're in there at the moment. We have installed our. Just looking for the old box here. We have installed our Kingston Fury 64 gig of RAM. You would have seen me do that in the last video. If you've not watched that video, then pop back to YouTube and have a little look at that 30 minutes of me struggling and fettling with that NUC. So anyway, without further ado, let's actually basically get into our NUC. So I'm just going to hit Control-Alt-Delete on that, and I'm just going to turn off that wallpaper. And let's just basically see that we can actually basically get in by pressing F10 to basically I'm using a keyboard here that doesn't actually have a real key for function T10, and that's not worked. That's not worked at all. Okay, so let's bash F10 a number of times and see whether or not that we can actually basically get this thing booted. I don't really like this keyboard. Oh, there we go. I don't really like this keyboard. It's well, I do and I don't. I love this. Oh, hang on, can you see it? This is an old Microsoft keyboard. I think it's a 7000. I think Bluetooth. I like the profile. I like the fact that it's so low. I like the fact it's flat. What I don't like about it is that it doesn't have proper function keys. It has function keys, F1 to F12, but they're tiny little pads that you need to put your finger on, and you don't actually get any feedback from them. So when you need to get into BIOSes by pressing F2 or F10 or whatever, it's horrible. There's no feedback. Anyway, just another rant. Okay, so I'm going to boot off our Sabre NT SSD, which of course is the mouse working now? Mouse is not working now. Brilliant. Why is the mouse not working? Just because I picked up the keyboard, mouse stopped working. That's just ridiculous. Mouse is working down there. Let's just refresh. Maybe we've logged out. Oh, I've got no mouse. Reset HID. Control Alt Delete. Is that working? I'll get there in the end. HID mode only. If only it could be enable. Enable HID mode only. Enabling HID mode enable amount of virtual UI disk and virtual network in headline only. Image mounting is disabled. Nano KVM will automatically reboot after switching modes. God. Bum 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 bum. I have to log in again. Hey. Okay, as I was saying, I kept recording there because I thought, shall I keep this in or not? I'll explain if I haven't already. Okay, so where were we? Oh, we were going to select our UEFI OS Sabre NT SSD. And I'm going to have to return to previous menu. And I'm going to select our Windows 11 24H2, followed by enter. We'll boot in normal mode, and I'll hit that, and I'll explain. I'm actually using a SysSpeed Nano KVM, and yeah, for $50, £50, the full version. They're very good, but they do come with some teething issues. I've not had any problems at all on the Minis Forum MS-A2. Whether or not that's because that's newer. This device, of course, here, this Intel NUC was, it's October 2022. Yeah, October 2022. So it's quite old in comparison. So whether or not that there are some compatibility issues. So therefore, I actually basically went up to the mouse option and basically just turned around and said HID only mode. It's actually basically restarted the device, and we've got mouse and keyboard back again. So maybe I'll keep that in. I do like them. I think they're absolutely brilliant, and of course they're going to be far cheaper than a full. I do have a HPE KVM, IP KVM up there on the shelf, gathering dust, doing nothing. It cost an awful lot more than $50. Okay, so standard Windows 11 installation. You'd have seen this before. We did one on the Minis from MS-A2. So keyboard input, UK. Yep, I want to install. Agree, I want to install. Do that. I don't have a product key. Recently, I think we were discussing this in the office. Someone was saying that 25H2. This is 24H2, so this is quite an early version of Windows 11 in comparison to 25H2, which is available today. But some people have actually turned around and said to me that you can no longer create a local account. You have to create a Windows account now, a Microsoft Windows account. So that means that you have to have internet access to be able to install Windows 11. I'm not quite sure if this is true or not. The last time I installed Windows 11 was 70 something days ago when we did our Minis Forum MS-A2 video. Okay, so I'm going to install disk 1 unallocated space, and I'm just going to basically say next. It's going to basically create all the partitions, and then basically it's going to start doing the copy. Install Windows 11, keep nothing, followed by install. And I'm going to leave that. Tick on. So I'll come back. As I said, we'll see in this video whether or not that I'm forced to use a Microsoft Windows 11 account to complete this installation. Of course, I know that Windows 11 now does go off to the internet and download files for the installation. So it's possible that even though I'm running 24H2, the installer could change to 25H2, and the installation could be crafted so that I've now got to use a Microsoft Windows 11 account or Microsoft Online account or Office 365 account, or whatever you want to call it. But I've not had to create an online account to do any Windows installations for a long time. I think I've done one where I created a Windows account, an online account. But generally, they're all set up basically with local accounts to domain join. Anyway, so without further ado, I'm going to go off and have a drink of my going to go off and have a drink of my favourite soft drink, Pepsi Max, and I'll come back and we'll log in later and we'll go through the installation. Well, there you go. That didn't take very long, did it? Windows 11 installation has failed. So I was saying before that often if you can boot an operating system, it shows that your CPU and your memory is working, but that has said installation has failed. So either doesn't like the ISO, or one of the NVMe sticks inside it is broken. Okay, so let's just click OK. Is that going to do a restart? Let's try and boot that again. See whether or not it fails. It was just failing at the copy point, I think. So makes me wonder whether or not that. Okay, so let's just try booting that again. Let's just try boot in normal mode. We could try putting a version of Ubuntu on it and see whether or not that works. Looked to me that it was, as I said, it didn't give any information at all. It just said Windows 11 installation has failed, as you saw there. So whether or not that it had a write issue, writing to one of those. Okay, it looks like you started an upgrade from installation media. If you want to continue with the upgrade, remove the media from the PC. Let's just say no. Let's start from the beginning again. So next, I agree, next. I don't have a product key. Windows 11 Pro, next. I don't believe that it's actually a problem with the ISO in question. On the Sabre, searching for disks. So interestingly, now that it's actually created that primary partition, I wonder whether or not we can actually. Okay, so let's install. Okay, let's have a little look again. So I believe at this point, all it's actually doing is copying the files off the Sabre NT. That's interesting how it's actually, okay, 5%. I thought maybe that it actually was going to fail then. 7%, 8%, 9%, 10%. I'll shut up. Otherwise, you're going to get very bored. Tell you what, I'll just turn the mic off. Well, there you go. It just goes to show, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. So, no idea why. I don't know, maybe cosmic rays. Who knows why that first attempt failed with no error message. Okay, so I'll disappear. And I'll come back when it needs some keyboard input. Okay, I'm back. Keyboard input time, or mouse input time. Okay, so we've done this many times before. United Kingdom. Yes, this is the right keyboard. We want to skip. We don't want to add a second layout. But we will see this time whether or not that... okay, here we go. Checking for updates. So this is where Ubuntu does this. And it downloads a new installer if you let it, which is subtly different to the installer that comes on the original ISO. So this would give Microsoft the opportunity to change and craft the installer so that you couldn't create a local account. So let's see. As I said, I hadn't seen it, but as I said, it was 70 something days ago that I did a Windows 11 installation on bare metal. Roll out lots of Windows 11 on virtual machines, but they're all templated, so they're slightly different. Okay, we're going for a reboot again. Okay, so tell you what, I'll just mute the microphone. I do love that skull. Very pretty. Okay, so let's just start up our Windows and let's see what... okay, so it wants us to name the device, so I'll just call this NUC 11. Next. I wonder if that screen looked a little bit different to what I've seen before. Oh, okay, we're doing another restart again after it's renamed the machine. Okay, so this is normally so I'm going to set up for work or school, which is what I've always done. Okay, this is the let's set things up for your work or school. Sign in options, domain join instead, which is what I've normally done. Normally enter my name. You know, you would have seen this in other videos that I've done installing on Windows 11 before, how I do them. Okay, it's going to ask me for a password. If I can get it right. And then it's going to go through the wizardy thing. In security questions. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that on pause. Didn't want you to see those, but I'm sure, to be honest, really, if you went off and did some OSINT, you could probably answer those questions. Okay, I'm going to click accept, find my device, accept, include that. Yeah, like, we're not going to use this version of Windows 11. This really is just to check to see that everything looks okay with the hardware. Well, I've still got the opportunity to return it up until the 5th of December, I think. So it's checking Windows updates now, and it's going to apply those Windows updates. So we've already created the local account there. So I really don't know what my colleagues are talking about in the office. I'm going to have to go in on Monday, or it'll be Tuesday now. I sort of kind of turn around and say, well, I've installed Windows 11 and I could create a local account. So what are you doing different? Unless, of course, they are not creating, they're not doing work or school, which would make a big difference. But I thought that I'd actually basically spoke to them about that, told them about that. Right, okay, let me bob off and stop waffling, and we'll come back. Shortly when this is all finished. And it looks like eventually we're done. There was a few reboots in there. A few reboots. Anyway, let's have a little look at our system. NUC 11 processor, 11th gen Intel Core i9 11900KB, 3.3 gigahertz, 64 gig of RAM, 950 gig storage, 128 meg graphics card. It's looking okay. I don't see many problems there. Let's have a look on network connections. Wi-Fi, yep, this does have Wi-Fi in it. It does have Bluetooth in it. Not that we're going to be using that really for UnRaid. Yep, it does have Ethernet controller and i225-LM. All looking good. All looking very good indeed. Have a little look at disk drives. Yep. GameX S11 Pro, 2 of those. So although that initial installation gave us an installation failed for, I don't know what reason that was, 476 gig, they look okay. Not that we're going to be using those in the future. As I said to you before, we've just bobbed these in really so we can do an installation just to check the hardware. Hardware looks okay. Okay, so thanks so much for watching another Hancock's VMware half hour. In part 2, in this slow burn DIY homebrew NAS using UnRaid. And in the next video, part 3, we're going to very quickly bob in an Intel network interface card, an X710DA, which is a dual port 10 gigabyte, because if we're going to put NVMEs in this NAS, then we need a way to get some stuff on them over the network fast and off them from the network using NFS and iSCSI. So that's the next thing that we're going to do. I did think about maybe delaying that until we get the full complement of NVMEs, because of course we're going to have to go through the reverse process again of taking that network card out. But I really wanted to check to see whether or not that network card that I've got out of the bin is all working as well. Anyway, so once again, thank you very much for watching, and come back again to watch another part at Hancock's VMware half hour. So be safe, stay alive, work hard, and be calm. Bye.